Right then, so what I thought I'd show you today is a very simple kind of entry into improvisation, and it's a little bit of a hack really. Can get you out of some troublesome areas, or just be a really nice sort of way of introducing you to improvisation, and you can do some what I would call blues noodling. So I'm going to show you two approaches for improvising and making it sound quite bluesy, and one which is a really obvious way that a lot of people discover, and also something which is a little bit of a trick which I found can really open up some different doors into slightly more bright and kind of more of a major sounding blues rather than that very melancholy blues. Okay, so I'm going to do it on the piano, and hope you enjoy. Okay, so this video is going to talk about playing blues scales in two different ways. Now there's the really kind of obvious way of playing just the kind of traditional blues scale, I suppose. Let's do it in the key of C. So you've got the note C, E flat, F, F sharp, G, B flat, and then you can play the octave higher as well, C. So basically you've got 6 notes. You can think about it in 2 parts, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. Okay, so very simple blues scale there. I'm not going to go into this on this video because there are hundreds of videos out there explaining about the blues scale. I'll put a link to something explaining it a little bit more theoretically, but that's not really the point of this one, to talk about the blues scale as such. But this is kind of to show you the sound of the blues scale, so why we tend to use it. Now, if I'm going to play a blues, I'm going to stay in the key of C just to make it easy to explain this and to give you a demonstration. But I'm going to play a sort of a blues kind of idea, and I'm going to improvise using these notes of the blues scale. And this is one of the first routes that I got into improvisation, and it's really fun. So okay, so you get the idea. Very sort of simple. I'm just creating a left hand kind of bluesy pattern there to accompany myself, and I'm playing the blues scale and just having fun noodling around with it. So this is bluesy noodling, as I would call it. Now, the trick I wanted to show you, the main trick, is that although this sound is pretty cool, and you know, when I first discovered it, I thought, yeah, that's the sound I want. It very soon got to a point where I actually started to think, yeah, it's a bit limiting. So it kind of gives you that real sort of dark, melancholy, bluesy sound. But it's very hard to break away from that. So a lot of people use blues scales for almost all of their improvisations, and I'm not saying don't do that. I mean, later on there are other scales you can use, and there's different approaches, and I've done a load of other videos on that, so you can have a look at them. But for this one, I'm going to show you a real cool trick. So you need to know your blues scales a little bit, but this is a really nice way of kind of it's a backup plan, I suppose. If you're playing and you've got an opportunity to improvise and you're not quite sure what to do, if you think that it sounds really bluesy and melancholy, then by all means play the blues scale. If, however, you think it's kind of more upbeat, and I shouldn't say upbeat, but kind of brighter, kind of a jollier sound, like a major scale but with hints of blues, this can happen in gospel, or just even like sort of jump jive sound of Louis Jordan. So something like if you start trying to play a blues over the top of that blues scale, it kind of sounds a bit. It kind of loses, it ruins the sound of that happy kind of, you know, really kind of uplifting sound of the jump jive. So instead, what we can do is you can think of and this is a bit of theory here, the relative minor. So we're in the key of C here, and I'm going to think of the relative minor. Now to do this, all we do is go from the root note, which in this case is C, we go down 3 semitones, 1, 2, 3, and this puts us now in A minor. This trick works whatever key you're in. So if you're in the key of G, down 3 semitones, 1, 2, 3, you're in E minor. If you're in the key of B flat major, down 3 semitones, 1, 2, 3, you're in G minor. So it works exactly the same. Now this time, because I'm in A, I'm going to think of the A blues scale. Now again, once you've got the formula, you can work this out in any key. You might need to write it out and practice it a few times, but it's the same, which is the really cool thing about theory. Is theory cool? Maybe. I think it is. You might think I'm sad for thinking that, but I don't care. So we're on A blues scale, and we're trying to find out the distance between, so we can use our reference point of C. I knew that I went up 1, 2, 3 semitones, or theoretically speaking, a minor third here. Then I went up to the 4th note of the scale. I went to a sharpened 4th note, a 5th, and then a minor 7th here. So the formula, if you like, is root, minor third, 4th, sharp 4, 5, flat 7. Then we're going to transpose that to A. So we're going to, in other words, move all of that formula now to A. So this is our root note, upper minor third, which is up 3 semitones. So now we've got C, the 4th note of the scale, the sharp 4, 5. You could also think about this as flat 5, and I think it's actually more technically correct to call it a flat 5, but I don't get too hung up on that. And then a minor 7, and then you can put the octave in as well. So now you might be thinking, well, we're in the key of C and now you're playing an A minor. Actually, what happens is that this creates a really cool kind of sound within C major. You get the idea. So what's happening is that it's actually, I almost wanted to leave it there, but if you're interested in why this works, then it's because actually the two scales, or the two keys of C and A minor, are closely related. In fact, they're called relative major and minor. And it means that they sort of share the same characteristics, or share the same notes. So if you're thinking of C major and A minor, and this is a natural minor I'm talking about, they actually just use the white notes. They share the same notes. Now what we're going to do for the major is miss out the 4th note and the 7th note, and that leaves us with what's called a pentatonic, a 5-note scale. Now if you take a minor pentatonic, which is actually, if we'll do it in the key of A, minor pentatonic is that it misses out the 2nd and the 6th. So you can see there that the two pentatonic scales, C major pentatonic and A minor pentatonic, are the same. And what I've done is I've turned the blues scale to add in the minor third of C. So this note is actually the minor third of C. So you get this really cool major pentatonic, which is just a really great kind of easy scale to kind of get into, but adding in that minor third. So there you go. You can improvise using the blues scale in its kind of classic form and have some fun with that, and change the key and kind of work it out in different keys, work out the formula and then try and transpose it yourself. It's a really good thing to do. And then also you could think of playing the A minor blues scale, but in the key of C. So you're playing in the key of C, but you're using the relative minors blues scale to improvise with, and that gives you a great mix of major pentatonic, but with a minor third in it as well.